Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Broadcasting from Conroe Tower in lovely downtown Conroe, Texas, it's the AO Show.
I mean, it's not lovely right now.
Well, yeah, it's overcast and rainy, but we are the AOO Show.
Oh.
Audience of one, Wednesdays at 10 a.m.
I was thinking we need to change our name to the Goop Podcast.
We might get some carryover.
We can use so many Goop sound effects, like dripping and gooping, and we can even get a candle in here that smells like Gwyneth Paltrow's glasses she wore during
Oh, right, right, the glasses, yes. Or maybe that sweater she was wearing. Well, I am Andrew, and I'm sitting alongside the Aquanut of Community Radio, Mr. Tingly Fingers himself, Nick Schisler.
Word.
Yeah, man, I'm glad that the rain came in today, because yesterday, Saturday, I woke up, I went outside into my backyard, I removed all of my clothing, and I did some gardening.
Nude?
Nude.
Did you really?
No.
Oh,
but yesterday was apparently
story.
Yesterday, May 6th,
Terrible.
is the World's Naked Gardening Day or something like that. National or World Naked Gardening Day.
Okay.
Yeah. So I thought it was funny because there's probably a day for everything now. But this one is kind of a widely known tradition or celebration. But I think it's funny because if you're the type person who's going to go out into your backyard and garden naked, I don't think you're waiting till May 6th to do it. This is probably something you do all the time.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
But did you really garden, though?
No, I did not.
Oh, so that whole story was a lie.
It completely made up, man. It's called radio, theater of the mind.
Yeah, but jokes sometimes, most of the time, have a base of truth in it.
No, not this one.
Yeah, that makes it a terrible joke.
Well, it was a nice way to at least let the audience know that yesterday was a very important day.
Well, I was going to say, I wish it rained yesterday because I worked outside all day, and it was hot as hell.
You should have removed your clothing and
I
tended
wanted
to.
I did. I jumped in a pool. So that's why I was like, oh, you did the same thing, kind of. That's cool. But no, you lied.
No, it's a real thing. Look it up, everybody.
No, I believe it's a real thing. Every day has some stupid thing going on. It's like, oh, man, this is National Hubcap Day. Like,
that's right.
Let's dress up our hubcaps. Yeah. But yeah, it was hot yesterday, and I did a lot of random stuff.
Well, you're broadcasting at a very high level right now, so even with that terrible Aquanut condition that you have, you're doing great. So
I wish it rained yesterday.
Yeah, I think you got plenty of sleep. Oh, I got some feedback from a listener who actually lives in Kyle, Texas, and we were talking about this last week.
No way.
Yeah, and he said, hey, I live in Kyle, and that event is actually going to be held just a matter of feet from my house. Like I could walk over there. Yeah. And so he's got a friend named Kyle.
Who's coming?
Who's going to attend it. And I said, well, you have to be our on-the-field correspondent and let us know how it goes. I don't know if he's going to
I want to know the perks because that's a big ask.
Yeah.
For a city to be like, hey, if you're named Kyle, come here. And it's like, well, if I travel all the way from like Toronto, what do I get? Do I get a free board? Do I get free food or...
Yeah, I think it's just you get your name, which would be Kyle in this case, in the record books as participating in this contest. I don't think there's anything else they're giving.
At least it's positive. Yeah. All I'm in here is negative these days.
Yeah, there's a lot of negativity going on. There is, unfortunately.
It's great.
Yeah. But anyway, so I'm hoping that Mike from Kyle will give us minute by minute updates. I want him to meet and greet every single Kyle and give us minute by minute updates on this.
Because there's only how many people are in Kyle, Texas? 51,000, that's actually pretty big.
Yeah, it's a bedroom community basically of Austin. So you're gonna have a lot of people it's just south of Austin. So you're gonna have people that work in Austin, live in Kyle.
So it's like people who live in Spring think they live in Houston.
Same kind of thing. Yeah, it's basically the same kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, I did not send you this link, but I really want. I read it this morning because I've been up since 5 a.m. And
That's why I said you're broadcasting at an
yeah,
exceptionally high level today.
I was really good this weekend.
Yeah,
if people have noticed, I did not overdo it. I did not play late.
That's good.
And
So proud of you.
no, they're opening up a giant indoor facility in the Woodlands.
Okay.
For what?
Are you asking me to guess?
Yeah, guess.
An indoor facility for
Giant. Like it's going to be, because this thing is so popular in the Woodlands for some reason.
pickleball.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay,
and
cool.
I started laughing because I was like, I could totally see Andrew's neighbor being all excited. Like, can you believe it, honey? They're finally building.
Oh, I bet they are, and they probably know about this. They were actually playing yesterday. I didn't play with them, and I bet it was a topic of conversation.
I mean, I cool, because they literally said in the headline, because of the growing popularity in the township.
It's huge. Like I said, we shut down the street
so funny to me.
in my neighborhood to play. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we always badmouth people when they drive by. It's like, oh, come on, man. You're allowed once, but if you come by twice.
Does everyone scream car?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you did in 10 years old
Right.
playing stickball or whatever.
Yeah. But if you come by twice during, maybe a 10, 30-minute time period.
Oh, shut up.
Shame on you guys.
You're
you
in the
should
street. Or you could do what we did is we laid down trash cans.
Yeah.
And so people got the idea like, oh, we can't go down the street.
So we've actually thought about that. I've heard him say, oh, we need to roll a few of the pickleballs down the street and around the corner, so if people are driving, they see them, they know there's a game going on, and maybe they'll get the hint and turn around.
Just put cones up. It's like caution pickleball.
Wow, so this is a big indoor facility. Do you know where they're building it?
No, I'm going to...
That's crazy.
Here, I'll look it up real quick because I saw it on Facebook.
Huh. Okay. I just figured there's already some building they could just renovate. I'm surprised they're actually going to build a dedicated building for this. So that's surprising to me. Oh, well.
I'm searching.
Okay. Well, I a few weeks ago, Dick, we had this story about, do you remember the story about the guy who was, quote unquote, married to a doll? Do you remember this? Yeah. Okay. And you said at the time that it was going to be an evolving story, because you said at some point this
this is several episodes ago.
Yeah. This is probably a month or so, or maybe a couple months ago.
I kind of remember where they gave birth and the
yes. So
he wore the scrubs
the
and everything.
Scrubs and yeah. So to recap, this is a story of a man who's married to a rag doll, and he has rag doll children, and he's made all kinds of news because he's celebrating the birth of his quote unquote children. And at the time, Dick, you said, this is an evolving story because at some point, like, she's gonna die, but that would have to mean that he killed her because she's not real to begin with. Well, update.
He did it?
No, but we're getting close. His wife has fallen ill.
I told you this thing's gonna get, like, he has to get out because he really, like, I'm not kidding you. It's really, that's such a mental maze right there.
Yeah, but you called it, man. You called it. It's perfect. So he says that Christian from Bogota, Colombia, shows his quote-unquote wife stretched out in the back of an ambulance while paramedics tend to her.
Here, I got a picture for the folks on YouTube, Facebook.
Oh, he can be heard.
So that's the family right there.
That is the family, and I think that was one of the pictures we showed last time.
I just want people to get a reference of how good-looking this doll is.
Hey, look, I'm not into dolls, but if I were, that might be my type. He says she could be heard saying she had a headache and fainted. I called you because I don't want her to die. She is the mother of my daughter. Everything will be fine, my love. And of course, you can hear the paramedics replying that we're going to take her to the hospital and make sure everything is well, all while they're trying not to laugh.
Oh, so it was a real paramedic.
He really called the paramedic, and he really attended to this, which I'm kind of surprised they wouldn't say, come on, man. I quit wasting our time here.
Again, I'll talk about that movie with Ryan Gosling in it called Lars and the Real Girl, and then, like, the whole town kind of placates to his disability or whatever you want to call it, his
mental
derangement.
State. Yeah. There should be a picture in there of her in the actual ambulance, by the way.
That's not her.
No, I think it was the first picture. It was the first picture.
This is so creepy.
Yeah. But I figured you would love, when I saw that, I went, no way, that's our guy. That's Papa DeSammy.
I told you, man.
That's greatness. So good.
I mean, I'm telling you, this world's getting a little, you know what it is? I think the world's always been like this, but the information is too instant.
Yeah, and we hear about everything.
Well, because I think it's like, this really.
But is it a self-feeding loop, though? We hear about it, and then it sort of just feeds into it.
What's I'm saying, a lot of the things are normal. But we hear about it because
I don't know that this is normal.
100 years ago, I bet someone was doing trees back in the day. I don't know, but I think people do stuff like this. But since we have the internet, and we
Maybe.
hear, especially like TikTok, because he posts these things to TikTok.
Yeah, or some social media
Yeah,
site.
he posts this stuff. It isn't,
But now
this
it's,
isn't like some neighbor going, "This guy's really creepy." It's like, no, this guy posts this stuff.
But it's garnering attention outside of just his social media following. I mean, now there's news stories on this, and the New York Post and New York
Well, I mean,
Times.
the fact
whatever,
that the
are covering
paramedics
this.
knows what's going on, it tells you like the cities, the towns, like
Columbia,
all right.
Bogota. Isn't that a big city? Man.
I don't know, I'm
Anyway.
just saying that people are in on it. They're like, okay, this
Oh,
guy
yeah.
clearly is
Yeah.
like doing his thing. So
Well, at this point, they probably know who he is because he's famous,
Yeah.
or at least notable. You said
well,
there's a-
I bet you what happened. This is my guess is he legitimately called at one point like the police or emergency services, and they believed him because they assumed
because they didn't know.
And then when
right.
they got there, he probably got in real big trouble to the point where it's like, hey, if you do this again, we're going to arrest you.
Yeah. That's a good point.
And so he probably called, but hey, Julie, this is so and so and so. So I'm really famous for having this wife that's really lifeless, but she's ill.
Well, it's definitely an evolving story, like you said, and I am going to keep an eye out for the next update. Perhaps we may have to attend the funeral here soon. It may, depending on how bad her sickness is.
I mean, people attend funerals on World of Warcraft, so anything's possible.
Yeah. So you were talking about just this world is crazy. No doubt. I heard this just yesterday, actually, that a manager at a Hilton in downtown Nashville has been charged with aggravated burglary and assault after he reportedly entered a guest's room, okay, and sucked on his toes while he slept.
So,
Okay, so let's deconstruct this for a second. You're a guest.
I get it.
You're a guest
my
at a
toes
hotel.
get sucked. I wake up, my toes
you
are
wake
getting
up
sucked.
to your toes being sucked.
Did you not see that
What
video of
the
the
heck?
security officer sniffing butts?
No, but I want to.
Yeah. Oh man, I need to start sending you this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Because it's very
audience
similar. He
one,
got
you can
fired.
send
Yeah,
us articles
audience of. Well, I've sent you articles. You never talk about them.
yeah, one of them was pretty
Yeah, there was a sacrificial
beheading. I mean, that was
They
crazy.
they built their own guillotine to be
Yeah, we'll have to
get
bring
their
it up.
head chopped off together. That's
Crazy.
love.
That is what. Yeah, sure, love.
That's
Maybe-
love.
Yeah, maybe not love like Sammy and his or Christian from Bogota has for his family, but yeah.
That was a good
No,
article
so-
too. That was a wild one.
Well, we'll cover it, man. We'll
No, we
cover
won't.
it.
It's already gone. Old news.
No, it's yeah. Well, this
No,
just happened yesterday.
Well, no,
I think.
what I was telling you is like the security guard on the little footage. You see him. The lady's like, I think he was either at like a baggage claim or something, wherever they're bending down a lot, and he went over and just like run back. It was the wildest thing. I'll look for it while you talk about this guy sucking toes. That's great.
So the story is this guy's staying at a hotel in Nashville and he wakes up at 5 a.m. and his toes are being sucked. What the heck? So of course he calls the cops. Well, this hotel manager makes a key card so that he can enter the room. Well, which they have, I guess, the power to do. And I guess this guy didn't put the security lock on the inside like the deadbolt. So he was able to enter this man's room and he began sucking on his toes. I guess he has a crazy foot fetish. I mean, you would imagine. So when police got there, they asked him what he was doing. He said, well, I smelled smoke. I smelled smoke in the room, and that's why I entered the room. And, of course, police are like, there's no smell of smoke here at all. What's going on? So he was arrested and charged with battery and aggravated assault.
Fair enough.
Maybe he's trying to light them toes up and smoke them. Maybe that's where the smoke is coming from. He's sucking on toes. I don't know.
You know, it reminds me. Yesterday, I watched a break-in movie called Inside with Willem Dafoe, and it sucks. By the way, so if you want to watch something that sucks, you should watch that movie.
No,
but
I'm good.
But it reminds me of what you just talked about. That guy like breaking in, trying to suck some toes because
He didn't try. He
at
was
first
successful
this
at it.
movie was like it was about he's an art thief, so he's waiting for the guy to leave. He's at this penthouse, this like high end art collector, So he goes in and starts stealing the paintings. He can't find one of the paintings. The guy's like, "Oh, just get out of there." He's like, "Okay." And as he's trying to leave, he had to reset the security footage or security camera or security whatever, and it broke and it malfunctioned. It locked him into the house. Oh. And everything started malfunctioning. And so, the temperature goes to 100, goes to 50, and then like he just starts going crazy, and he starts just destroying this guy's house in like the weirdest ways. And I was like, man, do you think people will just lose their minds and just kind of like
Sounds like it.
after 5 days you're gonna lose your mind?
Sounds like it. I think I probably would.
The only best part of that movie was I wonder where he's been pooping because the water went out. Like the water turned off. Like every worst case scenario, this guy's locked into this house. And I was like, I wonder where he's been pooping. And then literally within the next scene, it shows him in the bathtub pooping. And there's all his poop in the bathtub. And I was like, all right, at least this movie's somewhat realistic.
All right, did you find the video of the man smelling
Well, I got
people's rear
picture.
ends?
I think I got it's on TikTok, but here I'll show a picture. So it was at a gym.
Oh, it's at a gym.
Yeah, this lady's working out.
So she's wearing her gym clothing. He looks like he's in a suit and tie.
Yeah, it's at a high-end gym.
So he's completely.
So he's going in for it.
So as she's doing her squats, he doesn't think she's going to notice this?
I don't know, man.
Oh,
I mean,
my God.
In all reality, she might be in on it.
Yeah, maybe. Well, yeah, a lot of this stuff is done for attention, for clicks. Who knows?
So I don't really know, but they said they fired him.
Okay, well, I think he deserves to be fired after that one.
I didn't know you couldn't sniff in public.
Yeah, I mean, what law is he breaking? I'm wondering.
Oh, man. Well, it's kind of funny because that behavior's so ridiculous. You don't really know. I'd be in shock if I found someone sniffing my butt. And I'd just be like,
hey, man, we've all been there, right? I mean, we've all been there.
I don't know. I don't really recall anyone being really creepy. There's always been like confrontations where it's like, hey, like you're talking about your violin buddies over there at Kroger.
I wouldn't call them my buddies, but sure, yeah.
But it's like I kind of just ignore it and just keep
We're
walking.
acquaintances.
I'm like, I don't want any trouble.
Yeah. So you're telling me if you found yourself in the scenario where you're doing some squats,
I'm like, hey man, I don't want any trouble.
You're just gonna let him do it because you don't want
like,
you want to avoid confrontation.
I
You're
would
like,
tell him I don't want any trouble.
But
and then I'd fart and I'd throw it in his face. Like, there's a free one. That's a freebie.
Well, that's just egging him on for more, though, man. You're not going to get him to leave.
You ain't going to smell anything better than this.
So disturbing. So disturbing. All right, moving.
What I like about this is if you find the video, you should. It's like a quick video. It's not very long. But he, like, sprints almost to, like, sliding perfectly under her butt and smells. And I'm thinking to myself, like, if I'm working out in the corner, like, doing, whatever doesn't really require my eyes, and I see, like, a security guard run over real quick, I'm like, what's that? Oh, he just sniffed that guy's butt.
Yeah, I mean, because there's other people in there. There's security cams. The desperation to smell some bottom, some backside on this guy is pretty high.
Yeah, I like it.
Oof. All right, moving on from that. I don't know how well I'm going to sleep after that. But have you heard this story about the Conjoined twins, Lupita and Carmen Andrade? They're making the rounds here. It seems like they're everywhere.
Mind. We talked about twins like a couple episodes ago, but different.
Yeah. No, those were the world's most identical twins who were trying to get pregnant with the same guy. These are 22-year-old girls who are combined, conjoined twins, right? I guess we used to call them Siamese twins, right? But we don't say that anymore. I guess that's.
Is that because of that Aristocats?
No, I think it was because one of the very first, like, quote unquote, famous conjoined twins were from Siam, right?
Oh, well, wasn't there like a Disney movie where it's like, we are Siamese? What movie was that?
Oh,
was that Lady and the Tramp?
Lady and the Tramp, yes, and that's the cats that would sing, I think. Yeah.
They pulled that one real fast.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, these girls are twins. Obviously,
man.
They were born
I just saw
in Mexico.
A picture of them, and it is interesting.
Yeah, they are conjoined. They share a pelvis, a reproductive system. You know what that means, don't you?
Like everything from belly button down, they share.
It says a liver, a bloodstream, and like I said, a reproductive system. So that means they share a vagina. Okay.
Yeah.
And now keep that in mind because that does come into play here in this story. They have one leg, which Carmen controls, and the other leg is controlled by
That's like
Lupita.
superhero stuff, dude.
It's amazing. So obviously they had to have lots of physical therapy when they were younger to be able to control their movements, but they move independently. One controls the left leg, one controls the right leg, and so if they're going to walk, they've got to be in unison.
That's insane.
It's impressive. I saw some interviews with them. One of the girls is much more outspoken, and
she's the right brain.
Yeah, the other one seems, I don't want to say she's slow. Maybe she's just shy, okay, for the camera. But the other girl was surprisingly very well-spoken for a 22-year-old. A lot of times you see 22-year-olds now that can barely manage.
Yeah.
She was very well-spoken and sharp, and it was really interesting to hear her story. So if you want to look them up. But the reason why this kind of came to my attention is because one of them has a boyfriend.
Okay.
Only one of them. Okay.
Yeah, that's an interesting dilemma.
It is. One of them, I think it's
'Cause
Lupita. She says that she's asexual, so she's not interested at all. And Carmen is the one with
to this
the boyfriend.
scenario or to in general?
In general.
Like
She's
if
just
she
not
had her
interested.
Twitter bio, it'd say asexual.
Yeah, asexual. Yeah, she's not interested.
Interesting.
But I have a little news for you there, Lupita. When your sister is being involved,
We get it.
You are also involved as well. But
Yeah.
so part of me wants to think that this is sweet that someone with this condition can find. I think she's been dating this guy Daniel for like 2 years now, and I think that's really sweet. But I think there might be something a little weird with Daniel. I don't know. You know, they said that they've had trouble in the past because most of the guys that want to date them are like in fetish. It's like a fetish for them. And I'm thinking, all right, well, I don't know what the fetish is there. But
it's if you want to go deep dive in this because we're philosophers here on Audience One.
we sure are.
I mean, isn't everyone have a fetish in a certain degree where it's like,
maybe.
oh, I like women. Is that considered a fetish?
The guy who worked at the hotel did. That's for sure.
What I'm saying, like, it depending on what level you're looking at, because the unfortunate reality with the Siamese twins is that this is how it's going to have to go.
Right.
If you want to have that kind of experience. So it's, I mean, I feel really bad. I think
I
there's,
do too.
I
really
think it's
do.
one of those things. Because remember that this is similar to that other article of twins we found where they weren't conjoined twins, but they were twins themselves.
I think they almost wanted to be, though.
Well, yeah, that was
were
the whole
weird about
thing.
it.
And they had this. They shared the same boyfriend. So
Correct.
there is a world where two women can share one guy, and they can be twins.
Yes.
So this is just a little bit extra half step towards that reality.
Yeah, I don't know, but
So that's the way if I was talking to them, like I'd point them to those girls from Australia. I'd be like, look at these girls; they found happiness.
right.
So it's okay.
But he's very explicit about no. I'm just in a relationship with Carmen, not Lupita. But I mean, come on, you have to be in a relationship with both of them. And there's no way around it.
Well, no, I mean it's hard to be respectful too, especially in today's world. It's like there's no way unless Lupita and everyone's all on board.
Well, she has to be at a certain
Well,
level.
I know
right?
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Don't involve me.
But you still have to give someone a choice.
Right. But yeah, maybe she did ask her, but she's asexual, so she doesn't care. Maybe
Well,
she's
maybe.
like, oh, whatever. But she's feeling the same thing. It's the same body, so she's involved. Let's just put it that way.
You find the greatest article.
Yeah, man, this is awesome. So apparently they can't have surgery to separate them, as it could be fatal for one
Yeah,
or
they
even
have-
both of them.
yeah,
they share too much of the same important
Yeah. I'm not going to show the audience
organs.
the picture.
No?
No.
Okay,
You can
that's
look it
surprising
up.
to me. Yeah. Why are you disturbed by it or something?
It's just kind of like, all right, I'll show it.
I mean, if you're disturbed by it, you certainly don't have to show it.
I got it. Here. Look. We're on. If you're on YouTube, Facebook, listen or watching, you can't really see that. I was trying to see if I can get like
A bigger picture.
yeah, because when I try to zoom in, it does not do what I want it to do. It gets smaller.
She started dating her boyfriend.
So you get the
back in
idea-
October of 2020. It says.
Because what's incredible to me with their physical appearance is like their arms are to their kneecaps.
I think it's because they're leaned over.
Well,
to
that's
the
what I'm saying.
side.
Like
Yeah.
it's something where you're like,
If they were standing completely upright, I don't think that their arms are probably normal size.
because I wonder how many nipples they have.
That is a really, really good question.
Because it's like the phenomenon of that is like it's the body works.
Man, I'm gonna be thinking about that tonight when
Well,
I go to
the-
bed.
the-
How many nipples?
Well,
do
the
they have?
body works in weird ways where, especially for Siamese twins, or conjoined twins, I guess that's the current updated.
That is the yes.
So it's like, especially as a physician, you got to be like, all right, how are we going to figure this out? Because we need to know like what y'all share, what y'all don't share.
Yeah, and if they're trying to be productive members of society, which it sounds like they are, one of them wants to be a vet, and the other one wants to be like a vet's assistant. I'm like, well, that's great and all, but you kind of have to have the same
Okay.
job because this
That-
isn't going to work
All right,
physically. I don't understand.
Liz, did you just hear what you just said?
Yeah,
One wants to be a vet,
right.
and the other sister's going to be a vet assistant.
Yeah, yes.
So that sounds like a perfect combination.
I think that's what it was, a vet assistant.
I mean, that
right?
sounds perfect.
Right. I guess that is very efficient now that I think about it.
Yeah. All right. What's next? What we got next?
Oh, how about a baby that names itself from the womb?
I believe it.
I this is just so stupid. So Ashley Adams, which she is a content creator, which I think a lot of this has to do with it, right? She's trying to get clicks or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Said that she had her baby name herself from the womb. Right. That's called indigestion.
Don't they sound like frogs?
Oh, you mean like on the ultrasound?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know exactly what it sounds like. I know when you listen to them when they're really, really little, like the heartbeat sounds like a running horse. But the daughter's name is Margaret, and they're going to call her Mars for short.
See, at least it's a normal name.
Yeah,
I thought you were gonna tell me it's like.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. So what if this baby from the womb had said, "Hey, Mom, I want to be named Bertha or Gertrude."
That's fine.
What's
Gargamel. What's wrong with Gertrude?
Nothing. Right. I celebrate.
What's
all
wrong with Gargamel? I really like that.
That's
name.
actually pretty dope, right? Yeah. No. I celebrate. I celebrate all
in
Gertrude.
English.
Yeah.
It's in the realm of what we can speak.
She's gonna tell that baby to shut up, though. I'm telling you, if she doesn't like the name, she's not gonna go along with this. This has to have been.
Well, I mean, what's the difference between this and like someone having a dream and someone in the dream says, "Hey, name your kid Andrew"?
I think it kind of is the same thing.
Yeah.
This is basically what this is.
Who cares?
Well, yeah.
Why is this news?
It isn't. It isn't news. It's a stupid story that I found that I wanted to slam this woman for trying to get clicks.
No, the way you described it was she was named from the womb, and I'm thinking to myself, so that means you have to hear it.
Yeah.
So how did the mom hear it?
Okay.
And
it says before her pregnancy, Adam said she found herself gravitating towards the name Daisy, which is a feminine English name, blah, 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 blah. But her husband actually wanted the name Margaret. And I guess she said she had a dream about it, and there you go.
Oh, I thought.
There you go. She and her husband said they shared a dream that they'd name their daughter Margaret.
I got all excited because I thought they were like putting stuff to the belly, and it's like you can hear the baby talking.
That'd be cool.
And that's what I thought. That's what their headline said.
Yeah. Well,
so this is crap.
Okay, I got this one. You want to talk about a headline grabber?
Okay.
But no, I'll start with this way. How much do you pay a month for your motorcycle insurance?
Motorcycle insurance?
Yeah, how much do you pay?
Zero.
Oh, you don't pay anything?
I don't have a motorcycle.
Oh, you don't have a motorcycle. So you don't have a motorcycle, thus you don't have to pay for insurance.
Yeah.
Well, this story apparently is about a woman who has been paying for insurance on a car for 2 years when she doesn't own a car. Okay.
There's more to this story.
Yeah. She's paying $320 a month.
And she didn't realize this?
Correct.
How rich is she?
I don't think that she is very rich, but first of all, yeah, a couple different things going on here. One, $320 a month for insurance is insanely high. Like, that's ridiculously high. And I own vehicles. So apparently she got into an accident, totaled her car, and didn't have a vehicle. So I don't think she's got a lot of money because I don't think she purchased a replacement vehicle.
Okay, I'm going to let you continue, sorry.
Well, she says that she thought she was receiving payments because for like penalties or things for like the wrecked car or something. She had no concept of what this was actually for.
She sounds
very... And so she got a statement in the mail. And she's like, I'm going to call him on this, like after years. And she told the lady, hey, I don't have a car. And the lady said, well, would you like to cancel the policy? She's like, yeah. So she ended up getting back $3,500 in return because she had a police report saying the car had been totaled and she hadn't driven it, blah, blah, blah. So she got her money back.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good. But if that happened to me, like I'm not telling anybody, right? I'm just going to kind of go, wow, that was pretty bad. Because this just makes you look really stupid.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. How much are you paying for motorcycle insurance? Well, I don't have one. So you don't have insurance on it.
See, again... I can see this being confusing because she was paying a payment for the car that she once had.
Yeah.
And then
maybe she thought it was a payment?
Well,
like for the actual car itself?
Well, I think that's what I could see that being confusing if you're not really into that kind of stuff, meaning like you don't do your own research and understand the concepts of insurance. But
oh yeah, she says, I just thought I was paying for my bad driving record. I knew it was something like that. I mean, he gets angry about it. Why didn't nobody tell me what car insurance was for?
Well, that's an even better story.
Oh, yeah. Well, last story we got for the break. I don't know if you saw this, but this headline, a drunk Houston woman plows Porsche into a man on first date, killing him. And when I first read that, I thought, oh, man, that date went bad. That date went awry. But as I read the story, no, apparently this was a woman who was driving a Porsche in Houston about 100 miles an hour around a curb, curb, lost control, hit the curb, and took out a guy while he was on a first date.
Sounds like Porsche needs to make better vehicles.
Yeah, or just not allow someone to drive 100 miles an hour where they don't need to. But how sad is that? So this guy's on his first date, walks out, and this woman just plows.
Dude, there was
right
a story
into him, man.
like a week ago about a drunk driver hitting a golf cart, and guess who was in the golf cart?
I don't know. Who?
A recently married couple that were literally leaving the wedding and going across the thing wherever in a country club.
Man.
Like they literally, that was their wedding day. And they were going back to the house.
Both of them killed?
No, I think like the husband, one of them died. That's even worse than your story.
Yeah, no, it is. But I just thought it was
But your
ironic
story
'cause-
talks about Voodoo Donuts,
Yes.
which is a great place, by
Yes,
the
they
way.
were leaving Voodoo Donuts.
You ever been to Voodoo Donuts?
I have not.
It's pretty good. It's a little extra. So like if you like your donuts a little extra, great place.
Well, there's a place in downtown Springfield, Missouri, that I've been to that's kind of like that.
Because so many of our listeners can go to Springfield,
Well, I'm trying
Missouri
to I'm
right
trying to
now.
relate to it. This is the only thing I can think of. It was a crazy donut shop like that. I mean, like bacon and stuff on top of the donuts and all sorts of crazy flavors. But
Here, let me show you some Voodoo Donuts.
yes, Christina Chambers, 32, has been charged with intoxicated manslaughter for allegedly plowing in her Porsche into Joe McMullen, 33, killing him on his first date while driving about 100 miles an hour. It's kind of sad. His date said that she felt something graze her hip, and she doesn't know if it was the car or if it was Joe flying by. But she said all of a sudden she just looked down and it's like, "Where's Joe? He was gone." And so that just goes to show you how close she was from nearly being killed as well. But, anyways, are you finding Voodoo Donut stuff?
Surprisingly enough, they don't have any pictures of their stuff.
Interesting. But it's one of those places that does like crazy donuts, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to just get a bigger picture. That's kind of weird.
Yeah. All right, man. Well,
But,
it's a good place for us to take a break.
That's sad for those people, and be careful
It is.
in Houston.
It is.
I hope that lady goes to jail for a long time.
She probably
and
will.
then accidentally slips and falls and breaks her neck. And then hopefully
accidentally.
has to eat out of a tube, right? And then she
Yeah.
wakes up, someone's sucking her toes, and she can't do anything about it because she's paralyzed. Deal with it.
All right, coming
Right?
up on this.
Is that-
That's
is
right.
that-
Yes,
is
that's
that-
it.
is that what should happen to her?
You have encompassed the whole first part of the
Is
show.
that what should happen to her?
Sure. Sounds good. Maybe, but she might like that though. The toe sucking part.
I mean, how can she can't feel anything?
oh, well then what's the point?
I don't know.
All right, coming up on the second half of the show, guys, we've got SatanCon. I think Dan, SatanCon, an event going on that I think our buddy Dick here is going to enjoy, and apparently a woman who really, really enjoyed a classical concert.
Oh,
We'll be
great.
back.
Okay, I know we're on a break, but
We were on a break.
I know we're on a break, but I'm getting tired of all these articles Andrew keeps sending me.
They're great, and you know it.
It's all trash.
Kind of the point.
But it got me thinking, Andrew. Mm-hmm. You, the listener, can submit articles
Oh, yeah.
and ideas and topics.
Yeah, they can.
Audienceofoneshow@gmail.com.
That's correct.
Or Facebook, look up Audience of One Show with Andrew and Dick.
Otherwise, you're subject to stories about kids sleeping outside that apparently Dick cannot stand.
No, I mean, I'm tired of this fake news, and I know the cancer that is growing within Audience of One is Andrew and his terrible articles. So we need stories.
Come on, man.
We need
It's not that bad.
We need stories. So send us your ideas at audienceofoneshow@gmail.com and Facebook, Audience of One with Andrew and Dick.
That's us.
All right. So we look forward to hearing from you guys, and hopefully we have better topics on the next episode.
And if we don't, and they're still terrible, I suppose it's my fault.
Yes.
All right, we are back. AOO Show, Audience of One with Andrew and Dick. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. If you do, make sure you like and subscribe and share all of those links to our podcasts. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Audience of One Show at gmail.com for your suggestions on articles and topics.
Absolutely.
We hit it hard here on Audience of One.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. And Dick is not shy about letting me know when he does not care about a story that I come up with. Apparently, he's like, "This is stupid. Let's move on."
Well, the headline, and that's the trouble with today's headline world. It's like the headlines are totally misleading.
Yeah, well, they're just fun to talk about.
Yeah, but if the headline was true, yeah, it'd be a lot of fun to talk about. But then it's completely not the truth, and you're like, oh, so nothing really happened there.
So
okay,
last week we talked about the statue, the sexy mermaid statue.
Yeah,
right?
That's a big statue.
It was a big, sexy statue, and that was in the town of Monopoly. And I remember you said, that's a pretty cool name for a town. And I tend to agree. That sounds like a pretty cool name. However, there are some other towns around.
One side note.
Yeah. Well,
so speaking of Monopoly,
yes.
I want to get your thoughts on this.
Okay.
Someone posted on the internet.
Sidebar.
Sorry.
Okay.
Whatever the term we use here on Audience One. Someone posted a picture of a house that someone was doing reconstruction on, and they found the floor of the living room was a giant Monopoly board when they're tearing up the floor. And I was thinking to myself, I go, that's really cool. But then I realized, how do you play if you're supposed to be the token? Like, how boring would that be? Like, you're just standing for 14 hours playing Monopoly.
Yeah, hopefully the game doesn't last that long. I'm sure you could put a marker in, like a stand-in for you or something.
Well, what's the point of having a giant board without you being the token?
Or it was just not actually used for play, right? I think it was just maybe for decoration.
But I would want to play. What's the point of having a cool board game? Because I like Monopoly a lot. But I was thinking to myself, like, I would have to have like a rolly stool, and then I'd have to have a rolly countertop so I can put my food or my drink on it.
Yeah, a chair or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah.
What was your favorite Monopoly piece?
Oh, the hat.
The hat?
100%.
Okay. I wasn't a huge Monopoly guy, so I don't have a favorite. I was just wondering if you did. And
I still kind of collect Monopoly boards.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess there's different ones from different eras.
Back in the day, it wasn't like there was one for every town, but now you can get like anything.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I'll have to.
So like my favorite one, like it became a thing with my friends and my family. They would buy me one for like birthdays. Like, hey, I found this one. I think you like. Like for example, a cool one I got was, I think it was when like the 20th anniversary of Indiana Jones, but it came in a wooden box. Looked like where the Ark was in. The whole Monopoly thing came in that. It was Indiana Jones themed, and like it slid open.
Awesome.
It was pretty cool.
And you still have them?
Oh, yeah.
Cool. I didn't know you collected
And I played them. That's the only thing I would realize. Like, I probably shouldn't play these.
Oh, yeah, if they're going to be collector's items.
But I didn't really care. I like playing.
Yeah.
I liked them. Yeah.
But it's the same basic game. It's Monopoly.
Yeah, but it's cool.
Just different themes.
It's just fun. I think I like that kind of. Like, I have several others. I have, like, the Beatles. I like the Beatles.
I liked the Game of Life when I was a kid.
Yeah?
That was really the board game I think I liked the most. I don't dislike board games. I just don't know that I ever played a lot of them.
I read the Game of Life increased divorces.
Okay.
Because it was an option in the game, and people started learning at an early age what divorce was.
That'd be interesting if you could actually track that back to the Game of Life, though.
Because the Game of Life is pretty popular.
It is.
And it was a family game.
Yeah,
so
I don't know.
a lot of families
I don't know
played
if there's correlation is not always causation, I think, but it's possible, I suppose. Well, no, this is not a story about the town of Monopoly.
Yeah.
Or a story about Monopoly.
Sidebar.
Yeah. Well, now we know that Dick collects Monopoly boards. No, this is about a town in New York, upstate New York, named Swastika. Now, what's the first thing you think of, Dick, when you hear the word swastika?
Cults.
Cults?
Yeah.
Skinheads, Nazis.
Yeah, like
that's the first thing I think of.
Well, because that's one thing that amazed me about, German Nazis is the swastika was everywhere.
Oh, yeah, all over their uniform.
Everywhere. And it kind of got me thinking, like, what other symbols do we have that are everywhere? So, like, when you think of the United States Army, and I'm not trying to compare, like, the Nazi party to America, but it's like American flag is kind of our symbol, but that makes more sense than a Nazi flag.
I think symbols that are very popular these days are the ones that are behind you, the YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. You see that at just the bottom of just about every advertisement.
Yeah, but like
trying to
the swastika
promote
was
everywhere.
It was.
Well, this is the town that is named Swastika. Okay,
it's a Hindu thing, right?
It says Sanskrit. Yeah, so it says that. But the reason this is a story is several years ago, apparently, it went up for vote that they were going to change the name of their town for obvious reasons. Just why I asked you, what do you think of when you think of the word swastika? You think of Nazis and everything.
Up real quick.
Well, back in 2017, they brought it to a vote, and they unanimously decided to keep the name. And said, yes, this is this is not to be associated with the Nazis. This is the Sanskrit word, blah, 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 blah. And they actually get really, really upset about it. But I have a hard time believing that these folks really, I guess, are in touch with the town's history so much so that they can't see through the fact that they need to change the name to something else. I don't know. Dick, New York would probably be better than swastika. I mean, you can't live there and tell people, hey, I live in swastika. And they don't immediately go,
well, we talk
really?
about a lot of time on the show about the power of words, and it's just kind of like, okay, so, 500 years ago, there's a total different meaning to this word.
Absolutely,
and
yeah,
today,
there was. But it means this now, and so you've got to realize that. Well, another town in Denver in April of 2019 was also named swastika, and it voted to change it to Acres Old Cherry Hills. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It was Swastika Acres to Old Cherry Hills.
I mean, that's crazy. Okay.
Hold on. It was called Swastika Acres. I'm sorry. Swastika Acres. And now it's Old Cherry Hills. So they got the good idea to change it. But these people up there in New York said, nope. I was born in swastika. I was raised in swastika, and we're going to keep the name swastika. Interesting, man.
So I was curious because, being in Texas, we have the flags under Texas. That kind of cool.
6 of them.
Yeah, there's 6 flags under Texas.
That's right. I really know my history, folks. 6
So it
flags.
got me thinking about Germany. And I was like, did they officially change their flag when the Nazi Party took over? And if I'm reading this correctly, it was a co-option, the co-official flag. So they never got rid of the 3-color thing.
Okay. They just threw a swastika in the middle of it?
Well, no. Like that was still like part of the flag, like their flag. But then when the Nazis came, they co-officialed the Nazi flag. It's yeah. And so because it got me thinking, I was like, I wonder if they just completely took it over. Like, yeah, no more of this black, yellow, and red. None of that. We're not doing that tricolor thing. We're just doing the Nazi flag. But no, it looks, from my understanding, like no, they co-authored it.
Yeah, 1920 is when the Nazi Party adopted the hooked cross symbol. So obviously, if your city is older than that, it had no association or no affiliation with the Nazi Party. But at this point, you gotta change the name of your town, man. I'm sorry, it's just the way it is.
I like it.
Yeah. Have you ever? I was going to ask you if you've ever lost anything, but of course you probably misplaced or lost something. So I'm going to change my question. Have you ever lost anything of value or something that's maybe sentimental to you?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Anything you want to share?
I was gifted a knife from my great-grandfather.
Mm-hmm. Is this the one that you accidentally took on an airplane?
No, not that one. But yeah, I had an old knife. It was an old knife. Well, yeah, because growing up, you always had to have a knife on you where I grew up.
Sure, man.
And that wasn't to hurt people. It was more to cut stuff.
Cut your face.
Well, we're always working or doing stuff outside, always
Sure
going camping. And it's like, yeah, always
it's your
have
EDC,
a knife.
man. My everyday carry.
Yeah. But yeah, I lost that knife. I want to say I lost it in like a car of a buddy. Like it fell out.
Oh man. Yeah.
And then like he could never find it or whatever. And he lived in another state. And it was like, well, I can't be there to help you look for it. Like, how much effort did you put into this?
All right.
So
I was really bad for a time losing sunglasses. I would buy a nice pair and I would lose them, weeks or months later. I probably ran through 4 or 5 pair of Ray-Bans when I was younger. And finally I just got to the point where I said, I'm not doing this anymore. And I started buying really, really cheap sunglasses. I mean, like $4 ones. And guess what? I never lose them. I've had the same pair of $4 sunglasses for the last several years, and they're starting to fall apart because they're just crap.
Yeah.
But I don't lose them, so I'm thinking about stepping my game up and actually buying a little bit nicer to test my fate again to see if I'm going to lose these sunglasses.
Don't ever buy expensive sunglasses.
And I don't mean the expensive, but just more than $4.99 from Mervyn's or whatever.
Who cares?
Well, the problem is they're terrible. Like they're just basically coated plastic. There's no polarization. I can't see. Like half the time I have to take them off because it's too dark.
$15.
Right, exactly. That's why I think I'm going to step my game up to the $15 range. So have you ever lost, let's say, something that's really important to you, like a testicle?
No.
Well, apparently this 16-year-old boy lost his testicle the other day when he was trying to pick up a golf ball. So This otherwise healthy 16-year-old male leaned over trying to retrieve a golf ball. Suddenly, he developed a pain in his lower left abdomen and then soon noticed that something was missing in his groin.
Where'd it go?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Where'd it go? Was it his keys? Was it his wallet? No, it was his left testicle. This article is written really, really strange. And this is Forbes, but I think they're trying to be funny. But anyways, it says his testicle was presumably present and accounted for earlier in the day. But granted, not everyone with testicles may do a scrotum inventory each and every morning. Yep, still got them, right? So what they're trying to get at is we're assuming that it was there earlier when he was playing golf or before he was playing golf, and it disappeared while he was playing.
Doesn't that happen where like it could go?
So that's right
into their upper area.
That's exactly what happened. He bent over, and I guess it went and got sucked up into his his stomach cavity.
Ooh, so they found it.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's not completely.
They bonk him on the head a couple times, like trying to shake it down.
Whack-a-mole.
Like, come on, buddy.
That is the approved medical procedure, I think, is to do.
I mean, if I was the
like
dad,
a ketchup bottle. Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all about the angle and the suction.
It said rather than going around asking, "Have you seen my testicle?" or starting a "Go find me," the 16-year-old apparently recognized that the situation called for immediate medical attention, and he underwent a CT that showed his left testicle was in the wrong neighborhood.
That's scary.
It had moved up into his abdominal higher than what's called the inguinal ring.
Oh, God, okay.
Yeah, man. So apparently that can happen. So I know you like to walk around really tight jeans, showing it off. I know you do. So I just this is like a public service announcement.
That's why I man spread every time I sit down. It's like
man spread, so gross.
I'm here.
This is for my testicular health, y'all.
Well, you're the one that likes golf so much, so I can totally see why you go golfing, because you want to see what happens.
I think the golf is just secondary here. You just happen to be bending over to pick up a golf ball. But yeah, apparently you can lose a ball at the golf course. Go figure. Da-dunks. All right. So I knew that you were gone this past weekend because you were attending the 10th annual SatanCon. How was it, by the way?
Oh, I was the leader of it. We brought him back. You just don't know, guys. You don't know.
SatanCon. This is ridiculous. So this apparently went on last week, and it's the 10th anniversary.
That doesn't surprise me.
Now, it's a Salem-based satanic temple, but I like this. Get this. It says, which does not worship the Bible Satan as a deity. Instead, it uses satanic imagery to, quote, reject tyrannical authority and promote the separation of church and state. Boy, we are getting really, really nitpicky here with your Satanism. Why can't you just worship Satan like everybody else? No, they got to have some sort of politics and stuff associated with it. Well, the reason this is a story, one is because it's kind of interesting, but they apparently were protested quite heavily this weekend by Catholics.
Man, people protesting.
Yeah, they came out and said, we're declaring Satan has no rights. Satan has no rights. Hellfire awaits you.
Why hasn't the government developed something to put in the water to make us submissive yet? Like the protesting stuff's getting out of control.
Well, I mean, haven't you heard the theory that religion is a construct of man that was basically developed by people trying to control civilizations? That if you have sort of the
you know what's funny? Yes, I have.
Okay.
And I went to a Christian university.
Oh, well, do tell.
And I took a theology class, and one of the most interesting aspects of the Old Testament, which is the first, that's what the Jewish community believes in, the First Testament.
Right.
Or the Old Testament, sorry. And one of the theories was behind that is it was to teach people how to take care of themselves because of disease and other aspects. So a lot of those old school rules where it's like, oh, you can't eat anything unclean, which is you got to clean your stuff, meat. You can't. That's why they don't eat pork because back then pigs were so dirty, everyone would get sick from it. So that was kind of the theory behind why people believe in that, because they wanted to teach people the simple basics of
the concept. I'm thinking of
hygiene.
the theory that I'm referring to is.
Don't ask me why they cut your little TT part off. I mean, I don't know if that's hygiene or not.
Yeah,
I don't really know.
Man, I lost track of what I was going to say. Oh, yeah, so that if you have a society that is sort of fearful of the wrath of God, that they're more likely to stay in control and sort of self-govern themselves because they don't want to
look at the Catholics
to meet the hand of God.
Yeah.
And so the theory is that the further we move away from that as a society, the more we're going to have terrible things like people killing each other, immoral things, blah blah. So that's the whole.
I mean, some
So
of
you
it's,
said putting stuff
some
in
of
the
it is
water.
stuck,
I'm like,
though,
they don't really.
you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You said
'Cause
putting
no one
things in
really
the
is-
water. They may not have to. They may just have to put it into your mind. If again you believe that theory.
Well, the sad thing is, this article you shared about this SatanCon, I'm going to pull it up. It didn't seem really well attended.
No,
It has
it said
two
it was.
people.
It said it was sold out. Now,
Well, I mean, the pictures
what does
they
that mean?
used, the pictures. Oh, here we go. There's a better picture. Cool.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
making
no,
sure. I was like, oh, cool. This is just an article just to be an article, not like real news. But yeah, it looks like there's a couple people there.
Yeah. Apparently the event was sold out, and I love this. They actually dedicated this
I'm
year's
liking this guy.
Dude, that guy's wicked looking. They dedicated this year's festivities to the mayor of Boston, Michelle Wu, and they're actually suing her because she did not allow them to give the opening prayer before city council meetings.
What's up with these pictures, dude?
I don't know.
I don't know if we can shout it.
Yeah, I'm just
I don't know
like,
if
you're
we
the one
show
who's
those.
scrolling through them. I mean, it's on NewYorkPost.com.
Well, that's
Who knows?
SatanCon for you.
Yeah, that is SatanCon, but
I like how they use the word
Con,
cons.
yeah.
Now it's like
For everything.
Because if I read that to me is more of a dress up fun thing.
Well,
it isn't like an
kind of has
actual.
that feel to it, though.
Oh, I just showed a couple of pictures. Yeah, I can see it.
It's almost like I don't know how much actual devil worshiping is going on. You know, I don't think it's. I think it's more of just kind of a for fun thing. But again, they got protested pretty hard.
Yeah, that didn't surprise me.
So this next story, a little bit more on upbeat side, but also equally as annoying. There is a German boy who's 10 years old who is making a lot of news because he is
He didn't
apparently
lose his testicle.
He has both of them, as far as I
right,
know.
all right.
We'll have to ask the Dalai Lama. I'm sure he can do a check on that. He has sold $80,000 worth of art to New York's high society.
I like it. Good job.
You're right, and that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm like, dude, more power to you because he is pulling one over on everybody. The 10-year-old launched his second New York exhibition. It was entitled Unbelievable. Okay, and he sold over 80 grand of his new art. So apparently he's been famous ever since he was a small child, and they were calling him basically a prodigy as an art for doing mostly abstract stuff. And I have to think to myself, every child's art is abstract art. Now I look at this and I guess it's okay. I don't know if you're showing it to the audience
Yeah.
or not.
Oh,
It's
no, I'm just looking at it.
okay. I mean, I guess-
I'm showing it right now.
yeah, it's okay. It's nothing
It's
special.
fun.
It's fine. I think this little boy knows that he is hoodwinking everybody.
No, that's what art is, dude. Chill out.
No, right. That's what art is, but no one's getting paid 80 grand for scribbles
Some
on a
people
wall.
are getting paid more. Hunter Biden's getting paid more.
Not 10-year-olds.
Well, I mean,
not for art.
To me,
Hunter Biden's not getting
well,
paid
it's the
for
whole idea of art, isn't it? It's like the value is what you put into it.
Right, I guess. Yeah, and
So
but
if I'm spending,
it's one of these things though. It gets going, the ball's rolling down the hill, and everybody has to have this kid's art. And now suddenly he's like, "Wow, I just was doodling on a piece of paper, and now he's the it thing." Yeah, more power to him. I don't have a problem with it, man.
I like it.
Are you a decent artist?
No, I'm terrible. I'll probably be making a lot of money.
That's what I'm saying. You could just scribble some stuff on a page, throw some paint
see,
abstract, and sell it.
Let's go back to the beginning of the episode. I talked about Inside, that movie with Willem Dafoe.
Correct.
It's about art. And like the guy's house has art, and that's why he's there. He's stealing all the art. And you look at all the artwork, and it's like, yeah, this is kind of the art I would see in some house by some rich dude and buying that art. You know, because I think today's art purchasing is more for tax purposes, not
It might be.
for like, because back in the day that was like high society where it's like, oh, I can afford that, so I'm going to buy it, and that's how I display my rich, because I bought this giant painting.
Well, to use your words, this is an evolving story, I'm sure, and we're going to hear more from this kid, I think, in the future. Something else is going to have to happen. He's going to have to keep this going somehow, because eventually they're going to get tired of his art. It's not going to be the hip thing anymore, and he's going to have to amp it up.
Well, isn't that the whole idea of artists? Is like
He's going to have to lose a testicle or something to.
you have this piece of art and it's like 40 years old and it gets more value because it's older. Because what happens if you,
Yeah, but that's in the future. He's going to have to continue having an income stream.
but it
here.
hasn't for him, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. For him, he's going to have to amp
Well, they
this
don't
up.
call artists struggling for nothing. So
Right, but this guy is raking in the cash. So I thought this would be interesting to go over.
I would be so much more impressed with the first story we ever really talked about was that kid camping for 1,000 days. If he was making money from it, that's more impressive. But see, he wasn't making anything. And if I was the dad, I'd be like, hey, have you seen this kid? He's making 80 grand.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah,
Oh,
you need
staying outside.
You need to monetize this sleeping outdoors. I bet you can get some endorsements for like sleeping bag companies or something if they really tried to work it.
Yeah.
But he may not be trying to.
He wasn't vlogging.
No. Needs to, though.
Yeah. Day 1022. My parents ran out of toilet paper inside because I use the toilet inside still. I don't use it outside. Even though I'm saying I'm staying outside.
So hung up on this kid, man. I thought this was kind of interesting, and things that you would probably be interested in seeing is how you're in radio, and some people would consider this a very noble position, and another people might consider it a dying breed. Well, this is some jobs that are titled the most useless jobs in the world, but then also what their salaries are. And some of these I didn't actually know were jobs. Shockingly enough, radio host is not on there, but the first one that comes up in the most useless job category is professional cuddler. The job involves cuddling with strangers for money. You ever heard of this?
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. While it may sound like a dream job, in reality it requires excellent communication skills and the ability to make people feel comfortable. The average salary for this job is $60 an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
I mean, some people just want to get hugged, dude.
Yeah, well, another one, a fortune cookie writer. Okay? I didn't realize there was actually somebody who wrote these down. I just figured
let's play a little,
somebody has to write
Let's
it, I
play a
guess.
side game with this list.
All right.
Could it be replaced by AI?
Ooh.
So
well,
cuddler?
color? No.
No.
All right, second one. That's a good one. Fortune cookie writer?
Yes.
Audience of one show? Yes. So this
Better articles.
Yeah. Oh,
Damn sure.
no doubt. While it may sound like a fun and creative job, it usually requires a lot of time in writing short, pithy sayings. The average salary, drum roll, $40,000.
That's not bad.
That's to write that. Yeah, I mean, because that's not a full-time job, right? You
It
write.
could be. You
write,
never know.
You write. How many of those could there possibly be?
Well, it's not that. You have to keep writing.
Yeah,
So it's not like you meet your quota and you're done for the year. It's like
maybe.
we got to come up with stuff. And
I love this one. Professional mourner. This job involves attending funerals and mourning on behalf of families who feel they don't have enough mourners. It may seem like a noble job. It requires empathy and the ability to express grief convincingly. Average salary, $50 a funeral. That is a good side job. I could see you doing the, hey, Dick, what'd you do this weekend? Attended 3 funerals, sobbed in them all, made a quick 150. While you're over there playing patty cake with your friend, I made a quick
wasn't
150.
that Wedding Crashers?
I don't know. I've seen the movie, but I don't remember.
You remember that Will Ferrell's character? He's like, the new thing is funerals. Pick up chicks.
And
he's like mourning.
Yes,
He's
to
like,
pick up chick. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I do remember that.
2 for 1 right there, guys.
Yeah.
You get paid while meeting women.
There's one that's a professional whistler, which I think is kind of odd, but apparently you can use your whistling skills for commercials and movie soundtracks. The average salary for a professional whistler is $45,000 a year.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that. It's like auctioneers.
Yeah,
In a weird way.
I guess so.
That's not AI. Can't replace that.
Oh, yeah, we were supposed to say AI. No, AI cannot replace. It absolutely could replace a whistle, though, because that's just a sound effect, and once that goes in, couldn't AI
Yeah,
replace
but
that?
there's so many unique whistles because not everyone whistles kind of the same. So it's kind of neat to have that skill. Because there's some people who do the 2-finger whistle,
I wish I could do that,
and
man.
some people can just
You know,
whistle.
like pinch their bottom lip. And
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I could do that. Yeah, AI can't replace the mourner.
Can you
though,
whistle right now?
Yeah, like you're looking at
Whistle.
me. No, I'm not going to do it on demand. That's weird.
Oh, performance issues?
Perhaps I don't know. I've never had anybody say whistle. Do it.
I can't. You know, it's funny.
I'm afraid I might blow into the mic.
I
and
can't
overmodulate
really.
it, so.
I can't really whistle well. I can still like that, but it's not loud enough to like get someone's attention.
So, do you suck or blow?
I blow.
Okay, I can do both and make a whistle noise. I know, I'm pretty talented.
See, I can't do that.
Yeah. And I think I'm actually a better whistler when I'm sucking than when I'm blowing.
Okay. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's so many techniques.
But I'm fairly weak. I can't do the real finger, real loud with the finger in the mouth. I can't do that. I wish I could. I've always wanted to. Because I remember as a kid watching basketball and watching the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan. Phil Jackson was known for doing that crazy loud whistle. And you could hear it on the TV broadcast because he's down there whistling for his
That's a
players'
real
attention.
skill.
It is. And to do it that loudly when you're in a stadium with 30,000 people or whatever.
Sorry,
to be able
AI.
to hear it. So, anyways, those are some jobs that I thought were pretty interesting, and knowing their salaries is kind of interesting. We're going to end on a story that we're going to have to be delicate with.
But there's no more jobs?
Oh, there's a few more, but some of them are kind of stupid. Professional sleeper.
I like that.
Would you like to know how much a professional sleeper makes? $50,000 a year. They provide feedback on sleep quality and detailed feedback. It says on sleep quality and other sleep-related products.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking at this article you gave, and I know this is like a clickbait article.
Oh, they all are, yeah.
But some of the stuff does not match what they're trying to say. Useless jobs.
Yeah.
Like paparazzi's clearly a useful job in some market.
Somebody. I mean, yeah, that's the thing is
And like,
if actually, I think you may have selected a different article. I had a couple of them linked in our.
I have one that says the 10 most useless jobs on the planet according to the internet. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
and
according to the internet.
yeah,
So
and
they're stupid.
Yeah, and I had the other link that was 13 useless jobs that pay too much. I had two links in there. My apologies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because
So
one of them is iceberg mover.
well, yeah, iceberg movers one of them. Oh, you know what? This one's really interesting though. Bathroom
See,
attendants.
that's not useless.
No, that's not.
'Cause
You got somebody's got to move them.
Well, if there's a job site that has icebergs, I mean, look at the Titanic. They could have totally used one of those
They
guys.
totally could have. In retrospect.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one on this list, the first one was bathroom attendant. I have to admit, I hate the bathroom attendant. So annoying. It's so uncomfortable. It's like, bro, I can get my own soap. I can dry my
Okay,
own hands off.
This
Come
is
on,
where
man.
this is where
It's so
I
uncomfortable.
come in.
And then you got to give them cash for that? Come
See,
on.
this is a weird world we live in today because everything's still old. It's kind of blending in with the new, and it's kind of like having elevator operators and kind of like that. Because when I go into a place that has a bathroom attendant, I'm like, am I really in a place that has a bathroom attendant? Like, I guess it's a nice place. Like, I don't really think about it. But then I look at it like, oh, this guy's trying to make a buck. I'm gonna take full advantage of what he's
You're
offering.
going to eat all the mints. You're going to put all the cologne on.
I
Just
tip,
douse
and
me,
I'm
bro.
like, are you gonna wash my hands for me? And
Go to the other extent.
Well-
And some people avoid eye contact and avoid. You're like, nope, come over here. Dry me off, please. Pat me, dry.
well, he offers.
He does.
Some places.
I know, but it's really awkward when you're just
And I'm like,
a regular.
okay, might as well. Like, he wants to get paid. Here you go.
I've seen him
like,
at like normal places though before too. Where it's
oh
not
yeah.
even. It's
Well, that's
not
what
even.
I love about growing up in Houston and going to the Houston new bars, like the high, like not high end bar, like just the new bars, and they have an attendant there. I'm like,
Yeah, we call those strip clubs, by the way.
well, no, it's.
I'm just teasing.
Well, it got me thinking. I was like, maybe they have these people in here to keep an eye on people. Because
Oh, yeah, I hadn't considered that.
Because bathrooms get kind of wild, especially at bars and things like that.
Do they now?
Yes, and I can totally see that's part of the key reason
He's
they
a bathroom bouncer. Is really all you're saying.
could be.
Yeah.
But also, he's there to make your bathroom visit, like make sure everything's clean. Because you know how bathrooms are,
Yeah, I do.
like public bathrooms, they can get gross.
Yeah, pretty grody.
So if I had a
but
nice,
he's not wiping down the toilets in between.
No, but
he's over there wiping water off the sink.
But you go into a place and you see someone that's an attendant there, you're like, okay, I'm not gonna, pee everywhere because some people do that. It's a real thing.
I have heard people tend to pee on the floor. Yes.
Here's a crazy story. I worked at
I've never done
Kroger. That was one of my first jobs, and I was in I call the slave position because I did everything for no reason, and I probably wasn't qualified to do a lot of the things, and because I was supposed to be a sacker, but Kroger, the manager's like, well, we don't really need a sacker right now. You need to go empty out all this expired milk. You need to move all these boxes over here.
You were just a
And
step and fetch it, basically.
So one time he goes, you need to go clean the bathroom. And I'm like, don't we literally have a janitor that does that?
Like a janitorial service that comes in probably at
Well,
Kroger.
no, like on duty, like a person that cleans, like, oh, if you break something like the pickle jars.
Oh, right, yeah.
The pickle jar breaking ratio is huge. I think there's like 10 jars get broken every week.
day, yeah. And they don't want you cleaning it up. You cut your hand or something like that.
But they're like, go clean the bathroom. And I go, oh, what happened? And I go in there, and I kid you not, somebody decided either to pee all over the place or throw water all over the place, but then they threw Kix, the cereal, all over the place.
Why not?
So imagine the
what
wall
you have available.
covered in Kix and the floor covered in Kix, and it's stuck. It's stuck to all these things because it's all wet. And I was like, man, what happened in here? And like, luckily there was no like feces or anything. But I was like, this is kind of wild. Like, who comes in here and does this besides a child? So if we had an attendant, guarantee that wouldn't have happened.
Probably so. You're right. That's a good point. I hadn't thought of it. All right, last job here that's kind of crazy. I skipped over some of these because I didn't know you were that interested. But pet psychic. I love this.
AI,
so apparently that's
AI could replace it.
I love this because if I were a pet psychic, I would be I would be messing with my clients.
So speaking of AI and psychics, I was watching. I forgot what channel I was watching, but you know how
Dick is very excited to tell this
Well,
story.
no, it's one of because I don't really watch a lot of TV, but when I do, I always love seeing the ads because you know the demographic they're trying to sell to. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to say it was like an HDTV kind of channel, and literally a psychic app. It's like, you want to talk to a psychic today? Because you know how there's a lot of like BetterHelp.com.
Yeah.
There's a new push where you can talk to a psychiatrist or whatever those people are. And now there was literally the same thing with the psychic, but it looked like there wasn't video. It was all
Just the
text.
modernization.
It's all
of the
text,
psychic.
right?
Yeah,
and
it's
I'm
not
like,
cards anymore.
So AI
it's on
could
an app.
definitely do it.
Oh, yeah.
AI could definitely do it.
You know it. Absolutely. It could replace them. No, I would mess with people if I was a pet psychic. Because you know this is all...
Wasn't that?
It's all BS anyways,
wasn't that,
right? So
what was that guy's name? The Hispanic fellow on Planet TV thing. He did the dog whisperer.
Oh, dog whisperer. Yeah.
Is that kind of a psychic?
I think
'Cause
I think
he
so.
seemed like he
But
knew what he was doing.
I think some of that is understanding like dogs' emotions and what they're.
I like that show. Just thinking about it.
Yeah, like maybe the way the dog might be feeling. This is actually supposedly reading their thoughts, which is so funny. And I would mess with people because I'd be like, Fluffy gets really disturbed when you put those things in your bottom. You may not want to do that around Fluffy. Just have the person. I'm sorry about that. Mess with them. Just completely make up stuff to see what the person's gonna say.
It's like this dog cannot be eating puppy chow anymore. It needs fresh cooked chicken, boiled chicken.
Please don't do
with
that in
carrots.
front of Fluffy. It doesn't. It's scared when you do those things in front of him.
Speaking of dogs, this weekend I was working outside and I realized my dog really likes me because we're working outside and she goes to the back and all of a sudden she freaks, starts whimpering, screaming, yelping, and I thought like a snake got her. And I was like, oh, great. Like, are you okay? Come here. She immediately was limping and she came over to me and just raised the paw like, can you just look at this? And she's like, and I was like,
medical attendants, please. Medical attention.
and I was feeling around. I was like trying to make sure there wasn't a bite or sticker
Such
burr.
a good dog.
And it was
dad.
ants.
Oh,
And
yeah.
somehow ants, you know how dogs have webbing?
Yes.
So I carried her to water and I started dipping the hand and cleaning out her web and all these ants.
Oh, poor thing.
These little
They were
ants
just all up in the crevices
all
there.
all up in there.
She
And I
probably
was-
got bit so many times.
So I felt really bad and then
Yeah.
she was real sweet to me, and I was like, because some dogs freak, they're like, don't touch me,
Oh, yeah.
get away from me,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is bad.
She wanted it.
And she's like, this is crazy. And I was like, oh, my dog likes me. That's nice. Because when I turn on the edger, my dog doesn't like me.
Oh, yeah, I bet. She runs.
That's the only time she's ever bit me.
Don't like it.
No, she
Good for her.
freaks. She gets all aggressive.
Oh,
she
wow.
thinks it's trying to hurt me.
Oh.
And one time I was edging, and I make sure I put her up while I'm edging. But somehow she got out, and she literally grabs my foot and drags me.
Wow. She
And
wants
it
you out of
hurt.
there,
it
man.
hurt.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Ow, what the heck? Why are you
So you
biting
have to
me?"
put her away now, I guess.
Oh, I have to.
Yeah.
And but yeah,
All right, last story before we go here. I teased it at the break. We're going to have to be delicate with this one, but
the break. We're taking a break.
not another one, no. The ground really moved for one woman during the second movement of the L.A. Philharmonic performance of Tchaikovsky's Fifth Symphony
Yeah, I can see
when
it.
she experienced a loud and full body experience.
Yeah, I
yes.
can see it. I can actually see this being a normal thing.
Really, I've been moved by music, but there is audio with this. I've been advised not to play it, but you can look it up on the internet if you want. Several concert goers describe the woman's climactic moment from Friday from the balcony at the packed Walt Disney Concert Hall. So basically what this is you've got some music playing, and it was perfectly timed where the music got quiet, and right
And
then
someone screamed, and they're like, "What happened?"
And what happened? And there is some controversy on whether or not it was someone who was enjoying the music a lot, or if it was someone who was
Stay
maybe
classy.
had stubbed their toe. But one bystander said she saw the girl right after it happened and assumed that she had
Yeah.
something because she was breathing heavily. And her partner was
is
smiling
great.
and looking at her, and
This is great.
as if in an effort to not shame her. But he's smiling and looking at her like, "Yeah, I know what's going on.
That's a
You
good.
you stubbed your
That's
toe."
a good boyfriend right there. He didn't want to
He
bring
did,
attention
yeah,
to
he
it.
didn't want. So she's unnamed at this point, and there have been some attempts to find who she is, but I think she's remaining anonymous. So there, I was able to cover that story without
That's
getting
funny.
too detailed.
That's
You're
funny.
welcome.
That's a funny story.
Yeah. All right, guys.
You think she goes back? You think?
No, I don't think so.
Why
Well,
not?
once a week she's going. She
I don't
just
know.
really loves the concert.
She's been a partner or patron of this symphony for 40 years, guys. We can't do
Yeah.
anything about that.
Oh man,
I don't know. You've been to the symphony?
I have. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I like it.
I like it.
I haven't been to the opera though.
I've been to the opera several times. I grew up in grandparents were really into that stuff, and I think I told you that before. And one of the best experiences I ever had was she surprised me with tickets because this was like, I don't know, this is like 20 years ago. It was when they started doing the video game symphony stuff, and they were visiting. And she's like, I knew you like video games, so I got you these tickets. They're like the best tickets. And I went in under, I don't want to say it, I was having a great time. And it elevated it. And I was like, this is crazy awesome. And the thing that was great about it is all these young people were on their phones the whole time taking pictures. And I was like, they would never allow this if
Right.
we're like at the normal symphony.
Right.
But it's so funny to watch that atmosphere be totally different. And
Yeah.
I was like, this is actually like a concert, like a rock and roll concert. And yeah.
Nice. Maybe they'll invite this woman.
But
I should have invited this one.
yeah, well, I mean, it depends on what's going on. It depends on who's playing. She's probably, into that kind of stuff. Like, I need heavy bass.
Really, really.
I need heavy bass.
Really into it. All right, man, that's all we got for this week.
Yeah.
Again, guys, if you enjoy what you're hearing, again, share, like, subscribe, listen. We enjoy doing this, and we love hearing back from you guys. So
Yeah, we're going into May hardcore.
Absolutely.
So you guys take care. Again, audienceofoneshow@gmail.com is our main contact. Send us emails. In the description, you can find all our stuff on Spotify. We're on all that good stuff.
everything.
And yeah, so I'm gonna put you on the spot. We usually have guests, but you mentioned something that you might have met somebody.
We'll see.
So we'll see.
To be determined.
I think it's kind of one of those things because
To be determined.
yeah, we gotta. Who would you be your number one interview right now? If you can interview anyone in the world, or no, be part of our show. We don't interview people. They're part of our show. Who do you think would be the funniest? Or, I mean, Kanye West would be pretty wild.
That would be crazy.
But I feel like he
Dave
wouldn't-
Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle
Yeah,
with the
man.
articles and all that kind of stuff.
That guy would be a laugh a minute, and he's smart and introspective. I think I'd do Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, I think it would be fun to get a politician on, and we talk about symphonies and movement and things, and SatanCon.
Well, reach out to a local
and
politician,
stuff.
see if they'll come on.
It's like,
All right, that's all I got, man. For until next week, I guess.
yeah,
That's
man.
it.
I'll see you guys.
You guys think about that.
So Herbert,
Audience of One, Wednesdays at 10 a.m. right here on Conroe's 106.1 and 104.5. Listen to the brain droppings of local hosts, me, Andrew Belshner, along with the jewel of Montgomery County radio, Dick Schisler. Topical musings, news stories, oddities, or just weird conversations that we normally have with ourselves, all mixed together with the occasional guest. You can also find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts.